Oh,
Dad,
you know
don't
what?
watch this episode.
I can't.
Tell your dad don't watch this episode.
Mom, Dad, don't watch this. Like, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Relationship Podcast, episode number 6.
Yes, sir.
I'm Asha Steele.
I'm Devin Steele.
And we're super excited that you guys are tuning in today with us.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all the real ones that's been spreading this podcast. Yeah, rating us, letting your family and friends know about this podcast. Y'all been taking us to the top. Yes. And it's crazy because we just started this podcast this year, and I can't believe that the month of January is almost over.
Yeah, it's literally like 1 week left in January.
Yeah. Speaking of it almost being February, look, I know we remind y'all every single episode about our Valentine's giveaway, and I don't really know if we're going to keep reminding y'all because we're not just trying to hand out $200.
But we are.
But listen, we're giving away a $200 dinner on February 1st for you to go to whatever restaurant you want to go to in your city on Valentine's Day on us. The only thing you got to do is visit our website, REALationships.podcast.com, click on our Valentine's Day giveaway, enter your information, and win a free dinner. Who doesn't want to eat for free? I want to eat for free.
I want to eat for free too.
But
so y'all should.
Yeah. So what I'm telling you is if y'all don't go ahead and go sign up, I'm going to use that $200 to take my lady out. So y'all might want to go ahead and sign up because I ain't reminding y'all no more.
Oh, my goodness. Also, we gave you guys the opportunity to submit questions to us about your relationship via questions@realationshippodcast.com. So we actually have one of those questions from one of our real ones, right?
Yep. So today's question is from our real one, Raven.
Hey, Raven.
She says, hello, I am new to the podcast. I'm a college student who just recently got out of a 3-year relationship with my high school sweetheart. To this day, we're still friends, but with 1,460 miles between us and a 33-hour drive, I feel like the distance has made us distant and was hurting us more than helping us. We're young. We both decided to work on ourselves, school, and our businesses. We still have a lot of love for each other, but I'm scared that if we're broken up for a long time, the love will go away and we won't reconnect. I need help.
Aww.
Man, that's a tough one. And to be honest, me and Asha had to deal with a lot of the long distance relationships obstacles because that's how our relationship first started off. So instead of just going at your question directly, we're going to dedicate this episode to you to try to help you understand how we were able to navigate through those tough waters and make our relationship work through that distance.
Yes. So this podcast is going to be called Going the Distance, Part 1, because like you said, we have a lot of questions and we have a lot to touch on. So we wanted to break it down into 2 separate podcasts, right?
Yep.
So let's first start off with giving a little backstory about our long distance relationship.
Go ahead, take it away, shawty.
So, me and Devin, like we said, if you guys have watched our podcast, a previous podcast, we met right after Devin got drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals, at his draft party, actually. And so that one, I want to say it was on a Friday. That party was Friday or Saturday.
You know you remember the day your life changed. Don't act like you don't know the day.
You know what? You showing off. You showing off for the viewers now. But no, I really think it was on a Friday because we ended up linking up or like going out one more time before he headed out to Cincinnati for the season, or at least for a training camp, right?
Yeah, for rookie minicamp. I had to fly out that weekend because I think I got drafted that Thursday. I had a party, and then I had to go report for camp. Yeah,
so we ended up meeting up, like I said, and kind of got to know each other, got a feel for each other. That's when we found out that we had the same birthday after the party when we met up. And so we were just kind of like vibing, getting to know each other. And then he had to leave, which sucked. Because I'm like, geez, I'm just getting to know him. Like, and now he has to go miles away, which I'm not going to be able to just hop in the car and go see him.
And be like Joe.
Off
you, stalk me.
You know what? I can't. So I wasn't able to do that, So then we had to resort to FaceTiming and text messages, phone calls, which we really did because from that point on when we met, we were pretty much inseparable.
Yeah,
like we were always
she was on your boy.
He was on your girl.
No, she was on your boy.
Yeah, okay.
I wish I could have been on you, but it was long distance.
Ooh, you trying to get feisty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not February 1st yet, though. You gotta simmer down.
I'm gonna simmer down.
Yes, please.
All right.
So I personally was
Look, I done threw her all off.
I personally was
I done threw her all off her game now.
I can't. Don't
She's sweating. Oh my goodness.
It's this turtleneck.
Why you got a turtleneck on though? Nah, that's cool, boy.
It's cool. It's cool out here, okay? I'm used to it being hot. It's a little chilly out here. Don't try to come out my turtleneck.
All right, my bad.
You know what? Getting back to the podcast, you guys. Like I was saying, I was a little bit thrown off from us just being separated because this was my first time dealing with a long distance relationship. And so I really wasn't going to know how things were going to go. Now, mind you, we wasn't necessarily in a relationship. We were just getting to know each other. But even in that situation, like when you want to first get to know someone, you want to be around them all the time. You want to interact with them. You want to go on dates or just go see them and be able to just connect with them just like that without, any questions asked. Where you at? I can come see you type of thing. And we weren't able to do that because he was in Cincinnati, miles away from Delaware. I wasn't able to just hop in a car. I had to actually catch a flight. So, to me, it was completely new to me. And I really didn't know how to maneuver or how things would go moving forward in that situation. I don't know. How did you feel about it?
Man, it was tough. For me, I had a lot of stuff going on in my life at the time. Like you said, I had recently just got drafted. So I'm a part of a new team trying to learn the system there. I'm in a new city. Got new money, just like everything in my life had changed. And, so I was dealing with a lot of stress at the time. And so when I had left Asha, I feel like it was a gift and a curse, right? Because like Asha said, when you just meet somebody and you really have that connection off the jump, it's like you really want to spend as much time with that person as possible, hang out with them and get to know them. Right. But I know me. I know my behavior, As you said, the night I met you, I tried to text you and wanted to, try to get a booty call and all that other stuff. So if I was with you every day, then I probably would have just been focused a lot on the sexual side of things. But
you wouldn't got to know my mind. You
exactly.
Got to know my body.
Yeah, but I got to know it eventually. That's why we got Aria.
You know what?
But no, listen, seriously though, but I would have probably been focused on that a lot more. Right. But I think because we had the distance between us and we had to spend a lot of time over the phone, I got to know you better. Right. Right? Because we were able to talk and really get to learn about each other, learn about each other's background. So I think it was a gift and a curse.
Yeah. I think I would probably say that's probably a huge benefit to being in a long distance relationship, just because, like you said, you have to actually get to know the person. It adds more substance. As far as
that's all you have is communication.
Yeah, y'all conversation can go a long way. So the long nights of what are you doing and how you feeling, learning y'all background history and all of that type of stuff, and really get into depth who that person is and what it's what they're all about, really gets handled in the beginning. Whereas the first time you're going on dates, y'all just having fun, you're not really asking 1,000,001 questions, y'all just enjoying each other's company. So I think that is really an upside to being in a long distance relationship.
Yeah, because you have to be able to eat up time on the phone. Like you don't want one of those awkward pauses where you just listening to somebody breathe. Yeah. So it's like you don't leave any detail out about your life. Right. You don't leave any detail out about your day because you're trying to fill those awkward breaks in the conversation, and you can end up being on the phone forever. Like we fell asleep on the phone.
Asleep. I know y'all all know about falling asleep.
I felt like I was a little kid again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I felt like I was a little kid just because I enjoyed being on the phone that much and learning about you, that I felt like it just brought back that feeling that you have when you're a little kid where you just want to be on the phone with the person all day.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So let's see how to start it off. How do you know to stay engaged? Or how to keep it interested when you're in a long distance relationship?
What's crazy? I don't think that you have to make the decision to stay engaged. If that person is supposed to keep you engaged, right? Like just their conversation, how they are, that alone should make you want to talk to that person all the time. The way that they're able to stimulate you mentally should make you want to stay engaged. And like I said before, It's a difference between stimulating somebody physically, right?
Right.
Having sex. I know we all grown. I mean, I can speak on behalf of men. I don't really know how women feel about this, but it's just like when a man gets horny, like when a man wants to have sex, like his hormones are going crazy. But then after he gets that, you know what I mean, that nut, and I don't know if that's appropriate for podcast, but I'm just going to be me. This is how I talk. After he gets that nut, it's like the stimulation is instantly gone.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But when you're able to stimulate a man mentally, that doesn't go away right away. So, you know, you just being there and being able to, you know, stimulate me mentally made me want to keep coming back for more because I knew that that feeling wasn't going to subside.
Right. I know for me, speaking from a woman's perspective, like we tend to be very affectionate. You know, we want to be more hands-on. You want to be involved and have your mate, your partner be involved with you. You know what I mean? More touchy-feely type of thing. You know,
Right.
we like to go out. We like to huddle. We like to have the arm over the shoulder and feel like we're protected, feel like we're, you know, appreciated and all of that stuff. Yeah, the love. We want to feel that.
Right.
So it's very hard to fill that void when you're in a long distance relationship. You know what I mean? I feel like as far as keeping the person engaged or interested, it's not only about the conversation at a certain point. And I don't want to get too graphic. I don't mean y'all.
No, this is the real relationships. We getting graphic.
Okay.
Man, listen, I ain't faking for nobody. This is who I am. If y'all don't like how I am, if y'all don't like how Asha is, I'm sorry this podcast may not be for you, but if we don't keep it real with y'all, we can't help
keep it real.
people. So
yes.
Keep it graphic.
So,
Dad,
you know
don't
what?
watch this episode.
I can't.
Tell your dad don't watch this episode.
Mom, Dad, don't watch this. But no, seriously, like I feel like it's definitely about the conversation because you know you have to be getting to know that person, getting to know their mind, but it's also keeping them engaged sexually pretty much. So it's nothing wrong with, you know, sexting, sending a cute little pics. You don't have to be knowing nothing crazy if that's not up your alley, but
or get it popping on Skype.
You know what? I can't. So
man,
I would say,
y'all
listen,
know, man, we ain't the only people out there that got it popping on Skype.
Listen. In the beginning, you know, we're going to take it in steps. So in the beginning, you're getting to know the person, y'all getting to know each other, y'all having conversations, right?
Right.
After that point, once you feel like you're engaged in that conversation, y'all getting to know each other, y'all really like each other, y'all want to see where it goes, and y'all may want to start into the relationship aspect of things or being more serious. If you're still long distance, you have to realize both of y'all have to be fulfilled sexually. So
Yes.
being able to send cute little flirty pictures or sending like very, you know, text messages to just engage that person to make them feel like, okay, they are really into me. You know what I mean? Keeping them sexually aroused without having to actually be there. You know what I mean? Just keeping that person intrigued, because you got to realize if you're not, who is, right? That, I mean, it comes down to that. So you need to be able to stimulate that person, not only mentally, but physically as well. And without you actually being able to be there. Yeah. So, like I said, you want to be able to start off by sending cute little fun, little flirty pictures. If you want to get a little spicy, you can.
Downright nasty pictures. Show me that nasty. Forget the flirty.
But you can get a little spicy if you feel like it. Put a little cayenne pepper on there, you know. But and then if you know, depending on what your thing is, if y'all need to have a little video chat, video time type of thing. Yeah. But it's all about being able to engage that person, being able to, you know, intrigue them, not only, like I said, mentally, but physically as well.
Yeah, I just think that in today's day and age, technology is your best friend, right? You want to use technology to your advantage to, you know, try to connect with that person as much as possible. But understand that technology does not substitute for actually being there with somebody physically. Right. So it was important for us, and it's important for you who are dealing with a long distance relationship to schedule, you know, times where you're actually going to see each other, whether it's you're traveling to that person or they're traveling to you, because that's something that me and Asha spent a lot of time doing. We knew when we were going to see each other, you know, the next time.
Right. I know for me, our own little situation, like from us, like I said, Devin it was different because of his schedule as far as like the football season. So it wasn't like, okay, you know, if you work a 9-to-5 job or you own your own company, like you can pretty much gauge when you're able to leave, right? Like you had a set schedule And he had a lot of the times he had to be there because even though he was at practice throughout the week, he had games. So he was traveling for that. So it was kind of hard for him to just come back to Delaware to see me. You know what I mean? So I had took the initiative a lot of the times to fly out to see him in the beginning. And especially when he had got injured, I had took time off from my job at the hair salon to go ahead and go out to see him just because I knew I had a little bit more free time in my schedule. So I wanted to make sure that he knew that I had as much interest in him as he had in me.
Yeah,
and
one of the things that we did that was really interesting, and a lot of ladies out there, when y'all hear this, y'all gonna be like, Devin ain't, you know what I mean? But I really am a good guy. But not every time she came out there to see me, I paid for the flight. Like a lot of times she paid for her own flight just because
I had my own coin.
Yeah.
And I wasn't afraid to spend it.
Right. But I wanted her to, it would have been easy for me to just buy her flights. You know, I just signed a multi-million-dollar contract, but I really just wanted to see how invested she was in me, because if she spent her own money to come out there to visit me, then I knew it wasn't, you know, just one of those things where the girl's a gold digger. Right? Because you see a lot of that. I talked about it before, how, you know, when you in the position I was in, you really don't trust a lot of people. You don't trust a lot of females. Right. So for her to come out there and actually pay for her ticket, you know, it meant a lot to me. Although I know that she was probably cussing me out like, man, he got all this money. He making me fly myself out there.
No. Like I said, it's a lot of independent women out there. So y'all, we not afraid to buy our own flights. You know, it's nice that we can give and get a little bit, but it's not a problem.
She told me before, she was like, yo, this man's cheap.
He's a little frugal. We all know that he's very frugal. But yes. But no, I also remember, like, in the beginning of our relationship, because we didn't get to see each other a lot initially, one time Devin had actually flew to see me. We had planned to go to Vegas, or at least I had planned to go to Vegas for, like, a holiday break with some of my friends, and he was planning to go.
Whoa. You were supposed to be going where with who?
To Vegas. Can you let me finish the story?
Did you end up going?
Yes.
You did go to Vegas?
I planned on going to Vegas for, like, it was like Memorial break or something. And so he had told me that he planned on going somewhere else for Memorial break, right? But I wanted us to see each other beforehand. So we were trying to, like, kind of figure out when we were going to have the time to figure it all out. And so I didn't know he was actually going to end up flying to Vegas as well the same weekend. We didn't know that, but he decided to just fly to Delaware or Philadelphia at the time. That's where I was living, to come see me. So he actually surprised me one day and just popped up at the salon where I was working.
To be honest, I did that because I got cussed out.
I mean, but still.
I got cussed out, right? Because, it's the little thing.
Sometimes you got to curse out to get what you want.
Because I was like, yo, I'm really not trying to fly home whatever weekend that was. And she all on the phone like, oh, but I can come out there and see you whenever I have free time, or I can make an arrangements to come out there to see you, but you're not going to do the same for me. And I didn't even think that you hung up on me. And then I was like, you know what? She's right. You know, she invested in me. I need to show her that I'm serious about her. So I was like, let me just pop up on her at work. So I decided to fly home. So ladies, cuss your man out if you got to. More of the story.
No. But like I was saying, it was basically the fact that he could have got cursed out, because a lot of men get cursed out and still don't do it. But, you know, the fact that he took the initiative to come see me, even though we had ended up flying out to Vegas separate, but we ended up being together while we were out there. It was just that he took that approach and showed that he actually cared enough to want to come see me. So that was big. So that's basically getting to, you know, everybody, you know, is not set up to be able, whether it's work or finances, just to, you know, fly out to see the person. It may take way more than, you know, just a flight to a couple states over. You may be like across the world from each other, like
especially
all the way
if you
in
like in the armed forces or something like that, and you're on deployment.
So it's everyone's situation is different. It's just about making sure that you're making that person feel wanted and appreciated and special, even though y'all are apart. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So when you set up these schedules to see each other, do your best to try to stick to these schedules. Like, we understand that a lot of things may come up, that emergencies may come up, things that you don't really have no control of. But when you set the schedule to see somebody, follow through with it, because there's nothing worse than, you know, going a long time without seeing somebody and then expecting to see them, and then last minute they cancel.
Right.
Like, that is heartbreaking. So just make sure that you stick to the schedule. The second thing I would say, dealing with a long distance relationship, is to do stuff together, even if you're not together. Like, there's a lot of times where we will be on Skype and we might turn on a movie and we'll watch a movie together, and while she's on Skype, and we'll just go through it together so it can make us feel like we're
like
together.
Our favorite TV shows.
Yeah, like you want to make sure that you try to do things together even though you're apart. That doesn't mean go out to a restaurant, call the person on FaceTime or Skype and sit there at the table with them. I know a lot of y'all might do that, but
if that's their thing, do it.
No,
hey,
don't.
We eating together,
listen,
babe.
No, don't do
How
that.
How your meal? How your food?
No.
This chicken is good.
Don't listen to her. But like, do stuff like we did. Just like watch movies, watch TV shows together. Just try to be engaged as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. So that leads me to ask, so do you feel like, how far is too far? Like, do you feel like it's a distance where it's like too distant that we can't make it work type of thing?
No, I don't think there's a distance that's too far. And I'm going to just, go by this little love quote that I read before, where it said that with real love, a small distance between us is too much, but a great distance can be bridged. So I feel like when I don't know whose quote that is, and you don't either, so just say it's from me. But I don't think there's no different distance that's too large if you're willing to put in the effort. If both parties are willing to put in the effort and, take certain steps to make sure that they're connected as much as possible. What about you?
Right. I mean, that sounds good and all. I feel like in perspective,
quotes always sound good.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds amazing. But putting things in perspective, just for me, I feel like it's not necessarily too far, depending on the circumstances.
It's too long.
Or too long of a distance. It just
No. I mean, like it probably doesn't matter how far, but it does matter how long you don't get to see that person.
Yeah, that too. But I feel like it factors in, because say if I'm here and he's in Australia, Antarctica,
Kazakhstan,
somewhere where it's like I can barely get service to talk to you, then that's kind of far, because it's like being realistic of our circumstances. Am I able to buy thousands of dollars of flights to come see you and you doing the same? It's just putting everything in perspective. Like, is it ideal for y'all? And a lot of times also, just say if you were to be in a different country than I, or even sometimes different states, like people have families, they have lives in one particular area. They're not looking to, just up and relocate to a completely different area, let alone a whole nother country or something, which I know a lot of people do. So it's just basically putting that type of stuff in perspective. Like, is it going to work for you? To me personally, I don't know. I would have to factor in the distance for sure. Is it realistic? Is it going to work for me long term? And also, how long, like you said, how long is this going to work? Is it like a few months, a few years, and then we're going to be closer together? Yeah. Because I need to caress my man. Okay, I need all of this. I need this muscle.
Yeah, that's why I still go to the gym, because I know you like it.
But no,
you gotta, like you said, you gotta set an end date. When is this going to end? You can't do this forever. I know Asha's going to touch on a little bit later the different love languages, but you can't do long distance forever. You need to have it in your mind of when we're going to end this and we're going to come together and just really live out your traditional relationship, because the distance can really get overwhelming for some people and really quickly. So you want to make sure that you have an end date. Also, there has to be a lot of trust and confidence, not only in yourself, but in the relationship, because your mind can really wander. Like when you make a phone call, the person don't answer the phone, or they're not, checking in as much as they used to. But and even still, you want to understand the difference between checking in and checking on somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're constantly calling them to see what they're doing.
Like a CO. Like,
yeah. What's
where
CO?
You at?
Yeah.
Where you at? Who you with? What time you got in the house?
Yeah.
It's 10:03. You're supposed to be in here at 10 o'clock. Like, you don't want to be like that. Like, and you don't want to let your mind wander. That's why I would say it's also knowing if the person is worth it. Is the distance worth it? Just because you know who you're invested in, right? Y'all have taken the time out to get to know each other, to see where y'all at with things. Hopefully you feel like you know this person enough to want to invest in them and want to be in a relationship with them. So really determining, is this person worth your time, and being realistic with yourself. Like, don't say, oh, I love this person, they make me laugh, they make me happy, this, that, and the third. Like, really take into every characteristic about this person. You know what I mean? Because it's different from you being with them. You can see how they interact. You can see how their mood changes up, or they may change up. You may see if they're having a bad day, how it interacts and affects y'all relationship pretty much. You know what I mean? So you have all of that to take into account when you're actually physically with that person. But when y'all are apart, someone can be, completely different than how they are in person with you. You don't get to know all of them. It's like, what is it? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, something like that. Like, it's like night and day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you.
So, yes, me. But you got to know me personally. But like I said, so you're getting to know this person. You don't get that same interaction, same touch and feel with them. So it's getting to know who you're about to invest in, what y'all about to do, what y'all about to get into, and understanding, is it worth it? Is this person worth my time? Do I really want to be with this person?
Yeah.
Because being in a long distance relationship is very stressful.
Yeah.
And you get very emotional, because it's times when, say, you are having a bad day, or you are having a lot of weight on your shoulders, and you want to be able to go to that person that you care about, you can confide in, and tell them about your day, and have that shoulder to lean on, and have that person to hold you and just be there for you. You don't get that when that person is miles away. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like hard to just maneuver being in a long distance relationship. So understanding, is this worth the time and the effort and the stress, the hardships that you're going to have to go through to break all of those barriers to get to where you want to get to in your relationship?
Yeah, I think taking that into account is extremely serious, especially because sometimes when you go through a long distance relationship, you put your life on hold waiting for that person to come back.
Lot of people do.
Right? You don't go out with your friends no more. You don't connect with people who are, local to you. You just really stay inside the house, stay on the phone, talking to this person. You're distanced from all your relationships that are, in close proximity to you, just because you're waiting on this one person to come back home. So your life is basically at a standstill as far as just going out and really just socializing with other people. So you want to make sure you don't do that. You want to have your own life, right? When you're in a long distance relationship, you want to be able to have your own life, still go out, make friends, do all the things that you want to do. And then that way, if the long distance relationship doesn't work out, it's not like you just feel completely lost because you shut your life down waiting for that one person to come back, and they don't come back. They never planned on coming back. They was just playing with your heart.
Right. I know another part of that is also understanding that there could be red flags to telling you that this is not the relationship that you need to be in, that this is not the route to go.
How many red flags did I have?
We gonna touch on that, okay?
Okay.
So, like I said, you have to be realistic with yourself. You have to understand what it is that you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work being in a long distance relationship, and understanding what's a red flag and what to be aware of. And when I say a red flag, it's something that sets off your alarm. Like, okay, I have my little spidey
that
sense.
Woman's intuition.
Yes, I know this seems a little bit odd, but I'm overlooking it because I like this person so much, which a lot of times we do. And it's like, in the back of our mind, we know, girl, man, whoever, what you feeling. You know that this isn't right. So if you're calling someone and they may not be picking up all the time, they may be saying, oh, they're busy, or they have excuse, and they're not investing that time to call you and get to see you or answer your phone calls or whatever the case may be, that may be a red flag. Now, they may be very busy, but you have to understand that person's circumstances. So if they are a very busy person, if they are grinding and working on their business or hustling and working at work, and you know that their situation, then having some type of understanding. But that person is going to make time for you if they really care about you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you make
it's
time
always
for
gonna
people
be
you
time.
care about, or things that are important to you.
Exactly. So if they're not giving you what you need as far as that, and you feel like it's something a little bit iffy or something else may be going on, then that's a red flag. Like I said, just being able to FaceTime and interact with that person. If you don't have FaceTime, it's so many video chat things out there right now. And I've watched plenty of shows that people say,
Catfish.
I've tried to FaceTime this person. I wasn't able to FaceTime them, but I done sent them this, and this, and done this, and that. Like, if that person can't even see you on a video call, that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because either they ain't who they are, they're catfishing you for sure, or something's up. They trying to hide something. You know what I mean? So if I'm not able to be with you physically and then you won't even allow for us to see each other, if it permits, then that's a problem. That's a red flag. You know what I mean? So just making sure that person is investing in you as much as you're invested in them. You should not feel like you're giving 50 and, well, not even 50. You're giving 60 and they're giving 40. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be 50-50. So you have to make sure
Actually,
here you go with all your technicalities.
You know, because I'm a deep thinker. A relationship is not 50-50. A relationship is 100-100. You bring 100% of you to the table. I bring 100% of me to the table.
Okay.
And that way we just have more. But it's not 50-50. You don't bring half to the table. You bring your full, complete self to the table.
Full, complete self.
Therefore, y'all are operating at the highest level possible.
Exactly.
As a unit.
All of that.
Continue on, though. I'm sorry.
So don't bring 60 and let them bring 40, like I said.
100.
Okay.
And I think the last thing dealing with long distance relationships that can really help you out is set clear rules and boundaries. I think that's big, especially in the day and age of social media. What is not acceptable? You know, are you allowed to be following other girls, liking other pictures? Are you allowed to be talking to other people, dating other people? I don't know. People have a lot of different weird relationships out there. You know, you may allow for things that other people may not allow for. So you just want to sit down and have clear rules and boundaries in that relationship so you make sure that you both are on the same page.
Yeah, and making sure y'all vision for the future aligns. You know what I mean? That all goes to how y'all see each other in the long run. How y'all see y'all relationship in the long run. And what I mean by that is at some point your long distance relationship has to come to an end. You know what I mean? We all need to be able to come together and be in a relationship and coexist together physically. At least that's the ultimate goal. I don't know how many people will actually want to spend a life with someone apart from them, because when you're coming together, especially in marriage, you're becoming one.
Right.
So if I'm not able to be with you day in and day out and build with you and see my life and my future with you and actually be there with you and go through all the trials and tribulations together, then what is that really that we have? You know what I mean? So that's really important for me to be able to connect. And that was what we had to discuss about. I know when we got married or got engaged per se, it was, okay, I'm now going to Cincinnati right after our engagement.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we're starting a life together. This is something serious. And that is by no means to say, like, if you're boyfriend and girlfriend, I know we said that it's kind of ideal to be able to move in with the person or get to know the person and kind of like coexist before y'all, or cohabitat before y'all go ahead and go into marriage. And that may not be your situation. You may not be able to do that, but just being able to see what is going to, how things are going to be set up for y'all future, pretty much.
Right.
And if you can't do that, it's like hard to kind of distinguish which way y'all relationship is going to go. So it's very crucial for y'all to understand that at some point things have to come to where y'all physically together.
Yeah.
It can't be we're separated for life.
Right.
I will hope that's not your ideal situation. So just making sure that y'all are talking about, okay, and such timeline, we plan on being together. I plan on moving here. You plan on moving there. We plan on relocating altogether to another area. Just making sure those things are aligned so that at some point y'all know this has to stop and we're going to be together physically at some point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I think those are all great points. And before we wrap it up, I want to, you know, just say something specific to Raven, because I know that you're the reason why we did this topic for this podcast. So I want to make sure that we were able to leave this episode just giving you some direct advice. I went to college before, and I understand like how pivotal that time period in my life was, right? That I grew so much because I had new experience in my life. Like, it took me out of the environment I was growing up in. And I was a totally different person when I graduated college than when I first went into college. So I want you to understand this. When we're young and we find love, we think that that person is the one. Like, there's nobody else out there for us. But I honestly believe as we go through life, different people are brought into our life for seasons to really teach us lessons that we can carry on into our next relationship or our next phase in life. That everything is really preparing us for that moment that we always wanted. So even if it doesn't really work out with your boyfriend, know that he played his role in your life thus far, right? Even if it doesn't work out. And you don't want to spend too much time right now while you're in college worrying about whether this relationship is going to work out. Now's the time to focus on you. Now's the time to really focus on your future. Do all the things that you wanted to do. Experience things in life. Because if y'all are really meant to be together, once y'all are done that phase where you go through college, like you said, you focus on yourself, you focus on school, you focus on your businesses. If it's meant to be, y'all will come back together. But if you waste these years, these precious years in your life worrying about a boy, because this is the advice I would give my daughters. If you take this time to really focus on a boy and you miss out on this opportunity to really grow yourself, it can hurt you in the long run. So just enjoy life right now. Enjoy college. Enjoy not paying bills, because when you graduate college, things get real, right? So just enjoy this moment. If y'all are meant to be, y'all will be. But if not, do your thing, man. Do your thing and make a difference in this world when you graduate college.
So we hope this episode has been helpful for you guys. Like I said, we wanted to break this episode into 2 separate podcasts because it's so much to discuss, honestly, about long distance relationships and to touch on different aspects of it. And we couldn't possibly crunch it all into one episode. So this is part 1. We'll get back with you guys with part 2 next week. Until next time, keep it real.
Yes, sir.